Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Morning ETI. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I have for you Transformers Generations Amazon's Wreck and Roll Collection Deluxe Class Twin Twist. Here he is with Micronus Prime on his shoulder. I brought out Micronus Prime because that was the only one of the little primes that I ever got. I figured Micronus is literally the only one who deserves to be a headmaster. Everybody else deserves their own crazy big action figure or something like that, especially Amalgamus Prime. But Micronus, well, he was known for being small, so he's the one I accepted my headcanon as being a headmaster. Anyway, let's talk about these guys. Well, not Micronus, of course. Micronus is going to go over here and hang out. I keep blanking on the name of the headmaster for the Twin Twist, what the name of the little dude is, so I'm just going to call him Twin Twist as well, because out my head, I don't remember. But today we're going to talk about the robot mode. Next episode, we'll talk about the transformation and blindformers, and then in the next More Than Meets the Eye episode, we will be discussing the vehicle mode for Twin Twist. I do, these three video segments, and I have a question for you, the viewer. Would you like these three video segments in the same day? That would allow me to, get at more Transformers a week. Or do you like the way that I do it, the format that I have going on, where I release one video a day and give you kind of a day to get to it and digest it, and then you can get to the next one when it pops up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you could hit that like button, that'd be amazing. It goes a long way to helping me, increase the amount of viewership on this channel, which means that it increases my chances of helping blind people out there discover the joy of Transformers, which is one of the reasons this channel exists, is to help blind people find Transformers, because I think that they can be really helpful. And we're going to talk about that knee of this guy as soon as we get into him. I'm also going to pin a GoFundMe link in the comments below if you can help financially. I know that times are tough right now, and at this time, the channel's growing, but it's still not growing enough to really start funding itself. So I've been funding it out of pocket, and with everything increasing in price, I'm going to need just a little bit of help. But let's get into this guy, Twin Twist. Now he's a wrecker from the Wreckers, and he helps complete my wreckers that I have so far. I'm missing Leadfoot, so good news. I'm going to be getting a Leadfoot. Hopefully it doesn't come in this month as well. I'll have to cancel that one as well. I've had to cancel quite a few Amazon pre-orders because for some reason Amazon just thought the end of July was the greatest time in the world to throw them all at me. I'm like, nuts. But, say la vie. We still have content. And this guy is a fun one. So we'll talk about his fun stuff. Like, for instance, he's got these neat guns that come up. He's got these huge shoulder pauldrons, Twin Twist does, that are actually the tank treads for his drill tank mode. And yes, he's a drill tank mode, but not just any drill tank, a double drill tank. And these got siege ports there to allow you to actually switch these guns up. And I don't know if they call them siege ports in Titan's Return, because they call them siege ports for Transformers Siege, which came after Titan's Return. But they are weapon ports, I guess is what they called them before. But you can remove both of the pistols from those bits and get them. And it's really cool that they each sit, each gun sits above his shoulders, gives him crazy awesome fire dynamic. But they can also be pulled off. And then if he stands up straight, that stupid knee joint, that knee is literally the worst part about this guy, is that stupid knee. His knees suck. Let's bring up his one arm here. And these act as pistols. If you can take them off, you can put one in each of his hands. And then he can dual wield pistols. Oh my god, you don't get many Transformers with dual wielding pistols. You get them with other things, but not pistols. That's pretty cool. And then one more thing you can do with the guns is almost drop them on the ground. Take this other, come on. There he goes. All right, now I'm just going to set you back. We're going to set you, just lean you forward a bit. Okay. Now you can take these two gun pieces and what am I doing here? Ah, there it is. Okay. You can assemble them together. It creates a siege port on the bottom, or a siege peg on the bottom, and then you can take Micronus here, set him down, sitting, and he can sit inside of it. And this is pretty neat. I've got a few Titans Return repackaged and repaints because of the those Walmart headmasters that were released, and I really like these weapons, and wondering, like, did they, because there's little spots on it that seem to be places where other things could plug in, and I was wondering, like, if you got a bunch of these weapons, could you just make a little spaceship for your headmasters? It is kind of a little spaceship right now, but it has no thrust. It's just kind of a it shoots, skims around, and of course, you can put it in this dude's hand. Though his hand is really small in comparison, and because of the fact that this is just a little bigger, this bit, you really got to squeeze it together to make sure his hand is super small. So it takes a bit and a little pressure to actually put it in. And I'm not really going to do that. I don't like the way that works, but you could put your little Micronus in it, or you could set Micronus off to the side, split it in half, and put it where I think is the coolest looking spot, which is on here. Now, you can do it two ways. You can either put these guns on so that the waffled area and the area where the Micromaster sits pops up on the top when you have him folded out, which means the smoother lower gun section actually shows up on his back when it's folded in. Or you can switch it around where we put it on this side, and that means that whenever it's actually shooting at somebody, you got the smoother, nicer texture on the top, and then when it folds into the back, the waffly texture is visible on his back, which would just kind of add to the kibble that's already seen there. It's up to you. I prefer the back shell approach, where you've got that nice, smooth feeling armor bit on his back. I think that's a better work for it, so that's what I'm going to do here. Alright, put that bit in. There we go. And now let's talk about his articulation. He has got no movement in his hands. He has double jointed elbows. Yes, double jointed. And he has got bicep swivel, 360 degrees, as well as up and down motion with the shoulder, and circular motion. You can do, nice round the world pitches and stuff. But no butterfly. Well, he's got slight rotation, like a wobble forward and backward, but that's mainly because of transformation, but that can allow you to do a little bit extra with movement. Headmaster head, so it means it's got its spin it. He can look up slightly, he can look down slightly, and these tank treads that stick up above his shoulders, they don't do anything except fold out, and then they can fold back in. But they don't really do much but change the way he looks, his profile, which is neat. He can fold them out and hide people behind him. On his back, we've got no sort of articulation, except that his back canopy can open and shut, so you can actually have it like halfway open, as if it was a little cape in the breeze. Got a little bit of cape. Waist, 360 degree rotation. The waist can also pop off if you push it too hard in one direction, so I wouldn't advise that. The hips are very stiff and move in all good hip directions. He also has the swivel at thigh, 360 degree swivel at the thigh. And then we're going to come into his left leg, which would be his right leg for you looking over. Has a decent knee, but it's this right one that's just terrible. It's so freaking loose. I don't know what to do with it. It is one of the loosest joints ever, and I really hate that, because this figure is top notch. He's top quality figure. He's cool. It's just that terrible knee really is a negative on this entire figure, and that's sad. That's sad. He doesn't deserve any negatives. He's awesome. He's a really cool dude, but it is what it is. And it's sort of kind of double hinged knees, but not really. There's not really enough there to do a double hinged knee. Let's get into siege ports. He's got 2 on his lower legs, 1 on each leg. He's got 1 on each of his treads, and he has 1 on each of his hands. The grand total of 6 siege ports. Texture-wise, I love the tread texture, and we're going to talk about this tread texture a lot when we're in vehicle mode. But for the most part, it sticks up above the shoulders, and it makes for a great place to plug these little guns in and have them like fold up and down. I love that. It's so fun. Uh, his arms are pretty simply textured robot arms. There's not much going on there. You get some vent activity, and they hid the hinge in what feels like it's hinge pipe. It feels like some pipe structure on the side of a vehicle, but it's actually the hinge. So they molded that to be that, and I like that. I like it whenever they try to hide hinges with molding. That's always the best way to do it. That is always the best way to do it. Unless you can hide them with panels, but then you risk breaking panels. The fists are pretty okay molded, normal fist molding. But the head, we got a good headmaster head. We can take it off, and his head has lips, a nose, eyes. The lip transformers always mess with me. I like them having face masks, but he's also a weird one in that his helmeted, because you always got this face and then kind of a helmet on top of it. His is actually kind of small, so that's really neat. I'm gonna put that back in there. Yes, right there. And molding wise, on his chest, we've got some sort of decal molded into it or etched into the right hand side of his chest, the right hand breast area. I don't know what that is. If y'all know, let me know. It's a neat texture. I kind of like it, but does it symbolize something? And on his left breast, we've got what feels like a paint app texture. You got some paint that was on there. I'm thinking that's where his shield is, where his insignia will be. He doesn't have any sort of core waist action. He's actually got a thicker core body than some Transformers. But it's most part really cool, and I like how it kind of has this weird vent feel to it. It's a neat guy. This guy is kind of neat. And getting down to his legs, his thighs don't have much going on. I really say that's always kind of lacking. They could do some more sculpt work in thighs. I always appreciate it whenever they do. And if we come to the knees got some really cool vents going on right at them as knee pads. These also are a little articulated for transformation, so they open and shut. And then you got this rectangular port on the very kind of center of the lower leg, which I have no idea what it goes to because it doesn't work with his weapon. And then on the side, you've got the siege port. And on the back of his leg, you've got a nice solid back. Like this guy is very well. Then on the bottom of his feet, no siege ports and a little bit of waffling at the heel, but that's it. This guy doesn't really have that much waffling at all, and that's something I really appreciate. I always enjoy it when a Transformer uses as much space as possible, and that's really cool. He's got some waffling on his drills, which don't spin, missed opportunity, and that's it. And that's it for waffling. He's a fun figure. He's a well put together figure. He's a figure that I recommend. Other than the knee problem, which can be handled with a little sticky tack or something, it is an excellent figure and he was a must-have for my collection, that's for sure. And we'll get into his transformation tomorrow, which is a lot of fun. But once again, I'd like to remind you, please leave in the comments if you would prefer these videos to be done out over 3 days, or if you would prefer all 3 videos to be released in the same day over a span of time. But I think I've blathered on long enough about this guy for one day. Please tune in next time. Bye-bye for now.